Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio, and today we're going to talk about a question I received from one of my viewers on YouTube. Her name is Abdella Ibrahim, and she was watching or listening to my series on I need to do some research. When a prospect says, I need to do some research, what do you say? Now, she had an interesting question, and I want to go through her question. I'm going to go through my reply, and I'm hoping that this will help you close more deals based on what we discussed. I wanted to share it because I think this is really important. The question was from Abdella Ibrahim, can you give me advice on how to get clients to buy my social media services? Thank you for sharing. And then I responded by saying, your question is too broad. Can you be more specific? She responded with, Victor, I want to convince them, my clients, that I can bring them customers by managing their social media accounts. So apparently her business is about managing social media accounts for a company, small or big. Now, here's what I responded with. I said, Abdella, you need to answer three big questions. One, how are they, the customers, how are they performing with their social media lead system? In other words, how many leads are they generating from their social media campaign? Two, how much more can you improve over their current system? Three, can you prove it? Do you have clients who are performing very well? I then said, if you want someone's business, you have to show them A, that there will be a gain, B, that the gain will be bigger than what they're currently experiencing, and 3, that it's going to be easy to switch over to you. That's the formula, Victor. Now, what's interesting about this scenario is that Abdella is trying to win business, trying to get a customer to, listen to the phrase, switch over to her company. Now, they could be doing it themselves, or they could hire somebody, or they're hiring somebody else to do it. Nonetheless, Abdella wants them to come to her company to actually gain their business. But Abdella has to do three things. Again, Abdella first has to understand how are they currently doing? How are they currently performing with their social media system? Now, the customer is going to come back with one of three responses, neutral, or they're going to come back, we're doing really good. Or they're going to say, we're not doing as well as we should. Now, let's assume that the customer comes back with the most optimistic viewpoint. We're doing good, Victor. We're doing good. Then I would challenge the customer to define what good is. And let's say the customer says, good to me means that we're generating so many leads per month. Now, if I'm a social media company and I know that I can do better than that, then I'll have some leverage. Now, if the customer comes back, we're doing okay, neutral, or we're not doing so well, then the sale is much easier. But the sale is tougher when somebody says, I'm good. We're doing really well. We've all had those challenges when a customer is very satisfied with what they're currently using. Now, when a customer is satisfied with what they're currently using, our job is to make them dissatisfied by proving to them that we can do better. And in order to show them that we can do better, we have to show them that there will be a gain. Big word here, that there is a gain in coming with us. By switching over to us, we will show you that you're currently generating, let's say, 50 leads a month. We think we can bring in 75, right? Let's say that that's the gain. The second thing the customer is going to look for is, what is the magnitude of that gain? So let's say, for example, again, that the company is generating 50 leads, and you say, we can help you generate, let's say, 60. Well, the customer is going to say 10 more leads per month. Well, that's not a big enough gain. Now, if it's a big, large sale where the average price, let's say, is, $200,000-$300,000, then that's a big gain. But let's say that maybe the customer says, well, that's only a little over 10% increase. That's not big enough. The magnitude of the gain is not big enough to want me to switch over. So what Abdella has to do is that if they're currently generating 50 leads per month using their social media campaign, she has to say, look, we can actually bring it up to 75, which is about a 50% gain. Now, that's a big magnitude. 50% is big. In other words, let me just slow down here. I'm talking about gain and magnitude. First, we have to show the customer, if they want to switch over to us, that there's a gain. But that's not enough to get the customer to switch over. You have to show them that there's a magnitude, a sizable magnitude in that gain. In other words, that they're going to go from here, down here, all the way up here. And whatever that gain is in your business, it needs to be sizable. The magnitude has to be big. Why? Because of the third element. In the customer's brain, and Abdella's biggest challenge is that she has to convince the customer that, one, there will be a gain. Then she has to convince the customer that there's going to be a magnitude worth the effort in that gain. So the third thing she now has to do is reduce the perceived effort of switching over. Let me go through this slowly because this is so important on how you sell value and how you take customers away from your competitors. Show them the gain. Then demonstrate the magnitude. Now, even if you showed me that there is a gain, even if Abdella showed me that the magnitude is quite sizable, in my brain, from my organizational standpoint, I am thinking about how much of a hassle is it going to be for me to switch from company A, who I'm currently using, to Abdella's company. In other words, I'm going to think about the perceived effort. That's the key phrase. I'm going to think about the perceived effort that it's going to take. Now, why don't I just say effort? Because effort is absolute. It's going to take A, B, C. But sometimes the customer imagines that it's going to be much more effort to switch over. That's why I say perceived effort. So Abdella now, if she can convince the company that there is a gain, if she can convince them that the magnitude is sizable enough to really warrant a change, then now her job is to minimize in the customer's brain the perceived effort of switching over. So she can say something like this: Mr. Customer, and for you to switch from this company to ours, we can basically do it in 3 easy steps. A, B, C. And that's all it's going to take, Mr. Customer. Now, if she does it right, she has reduced the perceived effort in the customer's mind as to how hard it's going to be to switch over, and this is key. Now, so if we can demonstrate gain, if we can demonstrate that there's a magnitude in that gain, and we can actually demonstrate that it's not going to take a lot of effort, we're going to reduce the perceived effort to switch over, the last component is the most important one, that they have to believe you. They have to trust you. This is where I suggested to her that she has to show them how she's worked with other companies and how she's actually grown their business. In other words, in order to earn their trust, she has to show proof. And this is where she can use case studies or whatever it may be, customer testimonials, to show them that she can deliver on what she's promised. So let's go through it again, because I want you to start using this formula. It's 4 parts. The first one is demonstrate that there is gain. So again, the subject here is, if we want to get somebody to switch over, we first have to demonstrate that if they do switch over, there is going to be a gain. Step number 2, that there's going to be a sizable gain. We call that sizable gain a magnitude. It has to be a large enough magnitude to be worth the effort. Why? Because step number 3 is that the perceived effort in the customer's mind is going to be very high, so they're not going to want to do it. That's not worth the trouble. So our job, again, is to reduce the perceived effort of switching over. And then last but not least, even if you've gone through all that, you've shown the gain, you've shown the magnitude, you've shown the plan, in other words, to reduce the perceived effort, they still have to trust you. And the best way to do that is to demonstrate that you are an expert. Provide the proof throughout the demonstration. Show them what you've done for other companies. Show them case studies. Show them testimonials. Show them video testimonials of your customers. And all of a sudden, you will see a change in their mindset. So that's it for this Sales Influence podcast. Don't forget to leave some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. I really appreciate the information you've left so far. And again, it really helps me understand what you guys want to find out more about, and really helps me kind of orient these sales podcasts just for you. Also, check out my sales training website, seminarsonselling.com, where you'll find great training videos for you or your team to help you grow your business. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.
Every manager can feel it. The difference between a motivated, value-driven sales team and one that's stuck in a rut. CEOs know the difference too. They can see it clearly in the profit and loss columns. The question is, how do you get your team to this elite level? Is there something extra you can do to break through the remaining resistance and equip them with the right mindset to grow your business? Yes, there is. But you're not going to do it with one of those cheesy inspirational speakers or some self-proclaimed guru. What you need is someone with a real business track record to deliver key insights in a captivating way, to give your team the right tools for selling in today's tough marketplace. Enter Victor Antonio, experienced executive, innovative thinker, compelling speaker. He's ready to deliver the message you need your people to hear. Not with a canned speech, but a customized, dynamic keynote designed to deliver results. Bring Victor Antonio to your next event before the competition does.